Hello guys, welcome to this particular video. This video is going to teach you how to retouch your pictures. This is like the master class of retouching. This is where you, as a beginner, this is where you have to learn everything that you have to use if you want to create that stunning image that you create, and it will still be looking like the person. One problem a lot of photographers have is that when they finish creating their image, when they finish retouching it, the image will not be looking like the person again. That's because from the beginning, they messed the whole thing up. So for this particular video, I am going to be showing you, first of all, how I shot the image, then how I got to this point that you're seeing. So I'll create a new layout. So I shot this image with 3 lights. I have a light coming from above, which is this light coming from here. It's a snoot. It's a snoot, but it's normally called a reflector because it's one of those cups. It looks like that cup that comes with your camera, your light whenever you buy a light. You can call it a reflector, you can call it a snoot. You can call it a reflector, you can just call it a normal cup, you can call it a beauty dish, but this is not looking like those very big beauty dish that you have the mouth being this wide, then you have the body like this, then with a small part here that this is not one of those kind of stuff. This particular one is totally small and just long, so it's possible you can call it a beauty dish, a reflector, or a cup. So it's the one bouncing this light on the hair that you're seeing, and as the body is bent backward, it's the same light that is touching this part of the body. My main light is what is giving this feel. There is no harsh shine or no harsh light in any part of the body because the light is reduced. Then we have a snoot. My snoot is not looking different from the one I normally see a lot of persons using now, because it seems like it's the one that a lot of persons bought. I have 2 different snoots, so it's like this. These are the snoot. You just have some lines like this in the body. So the snoot is what I'm using to create this heart shape behind her, and I'm shooting these pictures on a gray backdrop. That's why the image is like this. So after setting this up, I got what you're seeing on my screen. So the next up, let's call this light. Let's call this light and let's turn it off. Now this is the part. First of all, we'll crop our image. Let's crop it to our Instagram size, and we just say okay. So what you're seeing here is what we are going to be working on. So I'm going to draw you a diagram on what you should always take note of whenever you want to retouch your images. This diagram is something that will help you in the long run. So for my highlights, where I'm supposed to paint my brush, how I'm supposed to paint my brush is what I want to show you. So first of all, I will just draw out an information that will show you where your highlights are. So I have an highlight here, 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 I have highlights here, I have a little bit of highlight here, I have highlight here, I still have highlight here. Coming down to the body, I have highlights here, highlight here, highlight here, highlight here, highlight here. Then for my follow-up tone, I will use let me just use blue for that one. For my follow-up colors, I have another color here, like a mid-tone. I have a mid-tone here, a mid-tone here, 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 mid-tone here. Then let's use red for our shadow. We have shadow here, shadow here, shadow here, shadow here, shadow, 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 shadow. All these are areas that you're supposed to touch with shadow. Let's go back to our mid-tone. All this part here, mid-tone, 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 mid-tone. Sorry, there is a little bit of highlight there. So here is mid-tone. This part, the part there is shadow, 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 shadow. Let's go back and start shading and highlight, 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 shader, shadow, 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 shadow. Let's go back to our mid-tone, 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 mid-tone. Hey, sorry. Mid-tone, 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 mid-tone. You see this diagram you're seeing now? The main reason why I'm drawing this diagram is how you just follow up your lights, how you know the areas where your lights are. If you look at this diagram again, you'll notice that every single thing that is drawn out here, every part, if you look at it, it has a different tone of color. And for retouching, we only have our shadow. We have shadow. Let me just use the colors and make it come out the way we want it to be. So we just say highlight, highlight, shadow, and mid-tone, mid-tone. So what you have here should be able to explain every single thing that you need to pass this for you. So every single part that you see mid-tone, you know that is your mid-tone. Every single part you see shadow is your shadow. Where you see highlight is your highlight. So we just call this follow up. Then we turn that off. Then the next thing we need to know, now we know where our lights are when we want to paint, the place where our lights are and where our shadows are. Now we have to know how to move our brush. We now have to know how to move our brush, because moving our brush is a very big deal for a lot of persons. A lot of persons do not even know how to move their brush. They just feel like we just move our brush the way we like. No, you don't just move it the way you like. When you want to brush your image, you set your brush, you brush this way, you brush this direction. You just follow the way the face is. For this part, you can brush like this, brush like this, brush like this, brush like this. Then from here, you can brush like this, brush like this. Here you can brush in circle, here you can brush in circle. You brush like this, brush like this, brush like this. Is the directions you're supposed to brush on. You brush like this, 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 brush like this, brush like this, you brush like this. So you don't just start brushing your image like this. That's totally wrong. You see, this thing you're seeing here is how you are supposed to brush your images on a daily. Don't brush it in any other way. Let me change the color of this because of the let me keep it like this, because I have to now merge everything together to create something, a diagram that we can use on our everyday retouching. So you follow the way these lines are to brush. You don't brush aside what these lines are showing you right now. You just follow up to brush. You brush like this, still brush like this, brush like this. So you now have how to brush here. How to brush. You have how to brush here. So when you put everything together, you have this. You have this diagram on a picture that you might want to learn, you want to use and learn how to brush your images. I might be putting this as a project file inside your image, inside your inside a project, so that you can look at it and follow up. So let me just save it at once. Let me save it for you. I'll save it as a let me save it as a TIFF file. So I'll just save this here. I'll say okay, so that I can use it, I can add it to the project, so that whoever wants to learn how to use these things can easily do it like this and not make mistake in the future. Anything you paint aside this, you are automatically trying to change the look of the person. That is why I am making this particular video. So right now I can off everything, then go back to how I will retouch this image. So I'll just duplicate, then I will normally use Reblum. I will normally use Retouch for me to remove the pimple, anything that look like rough patches on the skin. This particular plugin will help me do it without stress. If you want to get this plugin, you can check the description box under this video. You see the plugin, and to get it, you get 20% off if you use my link. You get 20% off. So let me just show you how to get this plugin, so that you too can walk the way I'm walking right now. When you go to YouTube, do
you know what's hiding in your business's data?
When you come to YouTube, you enter any of my video.
Welcome to design.
You enter any of my video. Let me say this is the last video I posted about Retouch for me. Once you enter, I'm just paying some part of. So once you enter here, this is the description box. You click here and you click on this link here, which is Retouch for me. This particular link here. So if you want to buy it, sorry. If you want to buy it, you can just come to Retouch for me. Retouch for me, the website. Once you see any of the software you want to buy, like you can buy 20% off summer sale. Then you get, right now that they are doing summer sale, you can have this 20% off, 25% off, plus using my code to increase the amount of percentage that you get off. So let's click on products and go for plugins. So it will load up. So let's look for heal. You see, we even have Retouch for me, dust, to remove dust, to clean background, to clean fabrics and all. So this is Retouch for me heal. You click on it to bring it to this website, this page where you say you want to buy. Once you want to buy, they will show you that I've purchased it. That's why it's showing me like this. But when you get to a point where you just have to click, and they will tell you to add a coupon code. Then you now add geeteeshotit 20 and you get the plugin from me. Anything you see, you're seeing 25% off. So let's go back to the plugin. So the way the image was looking at first, it was looking as if the image does not have issues, but once you look at it very well again, you notice that the image has some issues that has been fixed already. Just they are not that much because the model have a very clean face, so the problems on the face wasn't that much. So the next plugin I want to use is Retouch for me. You can also get Retouch for me through the link below. So you click on Gaussian blur, then let's use 6 for this image. I know a lot of persons will want to use 10, 20, but I'm using 6 for this image. Now I want to show you that stuff that I was saying you paint, like, which is how to brush. Keep how to brush there. Then I'll just follow what I've already shown you on how to brush. I'll follow that sequence to brush this image. So I'll brush here like this. Remember, this side is like this, and here I'll have to brush it like this. I don't have to brush it straight and destroy the nose. Remember, this side I said you can paint in circle. Then you brush this side like this, brush this middle. And you have to take your time while doing this so you don't destroy the image itself. As you can see, when you get to this part, I can brush in circle, brush here, brush it like this. This part too, you can brush it like this. And this image I'm using for this class today is a no makeup image, so you can also get the best out of your no makeup shoot when you light it very well. So we have this looking fine. So I'll paint like this, and remember, don't paint your highlight, don't paint it like this. If you follow the line I'm giving you, you will never paint any color into any color. But your brush is a faded brush, so it will surely fade the two colors together. That's why you see me painting this way. So I'm using what I just showed you, the diagram, to paint this image. So by the time I'm done, I will show you the result. Some of you might be wondering why I'm painting and this particular diagram is not also following. If I had turned this on and I start painting, to be picking everything, but that is off. It's off, so it's just working on the current layout. Everything that it's doing, it will not do more than what is seen, what is in the layout that I'm painting on. Anything outside that layout, it will not touch it because it's not authorized to touch it. So let's turn off our diagram. Let's check our before and after. Before, after, before, after. Because your frequency separation is supposed to help you just balance the colors, not to destroy the image. Balance the colors that are separated due to light or something. They're not supposed to help you destroy the image, but to fix the image, make the image look good. A lot of you depend on skin mashing to fix your image, to make your image come out good. But no, you don't have to do all of that. There are times where you have to increase your brush to paint softly in areas that you have painted before. You see, I'm dodging the light to paint it separately. That's because I don't want to start merging two colors together. It will create a disaster. So as you can see, we have our image looking the way it should. At least our model is not looking like somebody else. So when you retouch to this point, you're allowed to zoom out so that you know if you have painted anything bad. Once you paint anything wrong, you're allowed to go back and fix it. So I think mine is looking okay for me. So you're allowed to go back and paint till the image is looking satisfying. For now, mine is looking very okay for me. Mine is looking really okay. So there are a lot of things you'll be seeing, like see all this part, the color is bleeding. It's bleeding. So once you fix it, that is why you see after fixing it, the shape of the face will be a little bit shrinked or a little bit distorted. That is why people do the dodge and burn thing in their images. You understand? That's why people do dodge and burn. But for me, I don't even need to go through the whole process of doing dodge and burn for this video. All I have to do is just come to skin glow. Once I click on skin glow, it's going to run an action. Then I'll use my regular brush. And just paint it in. The reason why I like the skin glow effect is because it's not that harsh. It's just small. It doesn't just do too much on the skin. See, it's just small. A lot of you might not even be seeing it because it is very mild. If you think that is not enough, you can now add luminosity. With your luminosity, you can increase it. Let's increase it because we want to add it around this part of the face. Then we use our brush, then just increase it. Now we are adding shine that is not in the image, but you need to have frequency, you need to have Retouch Academy for you to be able to do that. So let's brush it away from the areas that are extra. We just want, in fact, let's just invert our mask so that we can paint it into the areas we want it to just affect. We want it to affect the face, the body. Then your before, your after, before, after. You can now reduce the opacity. Reduce the opacity. You see, we are done retouching this image. And this image, the retouching of this image is not take us a very long time to do. It's just that we are doing some explanation in the class, which is very important. So that whenever next time somebody asks me, how do you do this thing? I can refer you to this class. Whatever you're seeing here is what I will teach in a paid class, but I'm doing it for you guys for free. Like I said, this way we are working non-destructively. So we can go back and still paint in the picture if we feel like the painting, we have some areas that we didn't do very well. We can still go back and paint on it. I have not merged anything, so I can go back to the layout I've worked on before to work again. So anything outside what you're seeing here, we'll do it in the part 2 of this class because the class is already looking too long. But if you have any question, please drop it on the comment section. I'm going to attend to it on the next class. See you on my next class.